Alright guys, it's Mike's. Welcome to another video. This is going to be something a bit different. I've not really done something like this before. It's going to be a commentary over some gameplay from 1.3. The one-shot shotgun meta. Or, as I like to call it, smart cover M1A meta. This was the most cover-based meta that we have ever had in the Division. And as you can see right here, we're just hopping in with the 4-man team. We're playing some cover-based gameplay. Why? Because you had to play cover-based. Look at how strong these NPCs are. Do you remember when you were playing this? Of course, only players who come to the game after this point, you won't know. The game would have always been easy for you. But this was a time when NPCs were actually difficult. I will say that perhaps they were a bit too difficult, especially for the more casual audience who did not have the gear like I did. And I and my friends, we always had the gear. Sure, we could have always fine-tuned it a little bit, mid-maxed as the terminology is. But this was engaging content. I would actually, look at how much, we're sat in cover. These days, all you do is you put on a 6-piece striker and you run around and face tag everything. You stand right in front of that shield, you get a 100 stack, and if you get hit, okay, you might go behind a box or you might chicken dance or pop a med kit. It's quite funny. We've just gone rogue on these guys. Obviously, we've got smart cover, so you know that you can't get killed so quickly. So I'm like, oh shit, there's more players. Hello, hey guys, there's a few players to the left. Hello. Now we'll be like, boom, there's players, kill them. But with the smart cover, it was a bit too powerful. But at the same time, it was a buffer of a little safety net that would stop you from getting melted instantly. And I thought that was good because that created the cover-based meta. You would happily sit in cover, knowing that someone couldn't just run up to you with a latency difference and put bullets into you, and then by the time you heal, shit, you're dead. And I'm using an LMG here. When was the last time you saw an LMG used? Okay, sure, we have sets like Lone Star for it, but Sentry was again one of the most powerful gear sets in that meta. Yes, Striker was also relevant if you were any good at the game. Sentry was too powerful, that's why everybody ran it. It wasn't a good meta for diversity. But the actual, various playstyles that it enabled was quite healthy. You had people sniping, you had people using shotguns. I used LMGs, assault rifles are pretty shit. Hey look, some guy shoots me in the back. Oh hey guys, I'm being shot in the back. So, I fuck up here. I die. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to spawn in a minute and I'm going to come out. And while I'm editing down the boring bit, just take a look at the bullshit you had to do back then to compete. Restocking was a 35-40 second endeavour where you had to switch your gear sets like Lone Star in for the ammo and then the special backpack for the medkits, and then also Alpha Bridge for the medkits and the other backpack for the ammo. I mean, it was such bollocks. If you died and you wanted to go back and help your team, you had to do this or risk a short life. Especially as Combat Medic didn't heal yourself anymore, because remember, you could heal yourself with Combat Medic and eventually go from no health to full health with one Combat Medic. But because of the smart cover, I believe in this version of the game, Combat Medic did heal you to full, but if you used it with smart cover, you would destroy your own smart cover. There were so many bugs in this game. I mean, if everything worked the way it should have at launch, there could have been so many interesting ways to play the game. Especially Nimble. I was theory crafting Nimble back in 1.3. Like, oh yeah, we could use smart cover here, smart cover there, max smart cover, not run a heal, run something like shock turrets, flame turrets, whatever, pulse, and then just nimble back and forth to heal yourself. I mean, I knew that you had so much toughness that you could not get melted so quick on a cover-to-cover move. Yeah, I was proposing healing stations, these immunizer, which wasn't such a big thing back then. It was only really used when we would use smart cover and we need to hunker down an area because people would throw grenades and then the status effects would eventually kill you. And so here you go back into cover-based gameplay. It's not just run up in your face and face tank and strafe. Look at this. This is actual decent PvP. Okay, my aim isn't really all that because LMGs are quite a bit tougher to control. But this is so much more fun to me. Now, a lot of what is being portrayed, what we expect from Division 2, from what we've seen. We haven't seen much. We haven't seen PvP. But the PvE seems to indicate that we're going to be using cover a hell of a lot more than we ever have. And there I have a player running into me, causing me to miss shots. And who forgot the blue ult of invincibility? You could not die. So here we do a tactical retreat with the blue. It's one of the best uses for the ult anyway. And we get some height advantage. And look at the area of play. Look at the area that is in the game that we could fight in. We have an elevated platform with only two ways up. A ladder on here, right in front of us, and a ladder to the left. They can throw grenades, but back then grenades were weak. So I switched from my LMG to my sniper rifle, because the M1A was obviously one of the best long-range weapons. It was the best long-range weapon, but the LMG was something that I used to try. Didn't see it used it often, but the headshot damage, I mean the numbers, I could get 30k headshots in this, 30k crit headshots, because everything would multiply together. You get enormous increase in damage over just going for white regular body shots. So here is me abusing the auto aim with the marksman rifles. I made a video on that around this time. Of course that is now stopped. You can only abuse it once every second, which in a situation like this might not change too much. All I would have to do is change my playstyle a little bit. But this to me is what I believe Division 2 PvP is going to be. Not in a nutshell, but I mean the components of it will be like this, and I really hope it does turn to this. First of all, how do you stop somebody from rushing you? The game needs to be designed to actually promote this style of play, and back in 1.3 you can see that this was a viable thing. We are going up 4-man team up against, I don't know how many have we got there, 1 2 3 4 5 6, a couple of them are probably dead, 7 8. It's a 4v8, and it's not just, hey, rush your face, put a box down, heal the box up, run in your face, heal, and then heal a bit more. This is, yes, we have healing. We have the overheal, which was bugged, or all the first aids which were bugged, and they would heal you double time. Again, this is another bug in the game. 3-second revive. That's gonna go. See, and this was the super move. You know, stats affect us, pop a blue, and they're rushing. Shit. Now it turns into the chicken dance in your face, shotgun, auto aim, spam, shit, bollocks. But this was something that we didn't like. We did it because you had to, because it was the dominant playstyle. If any one side of the fight decided to fight like this, this is what the fight would turn into. And look how stupid this is. I don't like this kind of playstyle. This is just dumb. You know, it's unkillable because we've got blues and smart cover, which by the way went to a number 75% all damage resilience, which is just too much. 50% is what I used to run my smart cover, 55 max, and I didn't feel it was overpowered. It made you so strong to the point where it did not always make sense for a team to push you, so they would actually keep their distance and perhaps use their own smart cover to counter your smart cover. And sticky bombs as well, which is another... I get it, the game is trying to be unique and provide other ways of doing things in the skill. You know, why only provide utility skills when you can provide damage skills? And look, a little cheeky hip fire there, that was quite fun. And the combat role, aids, complete and utter aids. Hey, I'm going to roll around because body shots don't do shit, because I can roll around infinitely, you cannot kill me, and then I'll sticky bomb you and get one shot. Of course, none of us get one shot because we knew how to counter it. We'd either use 2P's final measure, or the smart cover effectively counted as final measure, you could say. But then you would be, you know, in that moment of vulnerability when it did run out. But just look at this is the PvP that I enjoyed from 1.3, and we used to do this. You know, a lot of the game this is such a open world. It's a game that you can make it into whatever you want it to be, and we chose to play cover based, and so the game was cover based. The reason we actually kept it this way was because of the height advantage and the fact that they had to come up the ladder. If they wanted to go up that ladder, they'd have to pop a blue. Who's going to pop a blue? Well, a team's going to pop a blue, because if a single player pops, a solo player pops a blue, that's not really going to do much. I mean, you can be the white knight that leads right into war, but if everyone else has not got any armor, you're just going to get fucking melted, aren't you? So people would have to group up, and randoms would group up. I hope that this is the kind of PvP that Division 2 turns out to be. A lot of you, 4 or 5 letter name sweaty 1v1 guys who spend 80% of your time standing on cars, you guys are probably not going to like it. I mean, I'm sure that most of you could adjust to it, and I hope you do, because I want to see how good you guys really are. I mean, well, that statement, how good you guys really are, is quite subjective. I mean, from patch to patch, this game has changed drastically, and 1.3 to 1.4 was quite a big change. The NPCs in 1.3 were quite powerful. I mean, you can see we're actually using the NPCs because they are so strong to help us. So we're in a spot which we can't really be done by them, but they have to deal with them. But if they deal with them, they've got to do it from cover, like that guy is behind the sniper tower, and we're standing here behind our elevated position, all we have to do is to avoid. I mean, there's a bloody cleaner there, and you know how powerful those things were. 2 ticks, you're dead. 1 tick, you're dead. They were so powerful. So, I mean, ridiculously powerful. But yes, you could just put the final measure on. And there was a good balance in there, as you know, you had really strong parts of the game, like sticky bombs and cleaners. But you could just put final measure on and it would counter it. But if you put final measure on, you'd deal less damage because you're not getting the extra headshot damage, and you ain't got savage because you'd have to trade out savage and 1 sentry for 2 final measure on 4 sentry. I really want the game to return to this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've become a much better. I mean, this is the first patch that I believe I became good. Everything up to this point was a learning curve. I was learning the game. It was such a complex game. It was new to everybody. I'd not really played RPGs or MMOs. The only thing I'd really played was RuneScape, and that's not really like this game at all. The other comparable games would be something like Destiny or Diablo. I guess elements of WoW, but I didn't play that either. But this is really a very unique game, and you know, even 1.3 it's only 3-4 months in. It's very early days. In fact, let me quickly check when this was. This was September. Okay, so this was towards the end of 1.3. Okay, not the beginning of 1.3, the end of 1.3. So you know, it's still only 6 months into the game, and the game is now 2.5 years old. Right, so the game has come a long way. It is matured, it has been fixed, it is much more casual than before. There are elements of that which I like and elements of that which I don't like. This patch did drive away most of the people. Why? Was it because of gameplay like this? Absolutely not. No one here is raging so hard because, you know, they're getting killed, but they're also getting revived. Again, that's a mechanic that's getting fixed in Division 2. If you go down, you got 30 seconds where you cannot die. So that's 30 seconds that you have to be either out of the fight, or you've got to be incredibly cautious. It forces that decision that important decision. Do I peek my head and fight and help my team to kill this other team, or do I hide and make sure that I don't die, gimping my team? Because I don't know how it's going to be. Whether, you know, in this game, if you've seen any, you know, 4v4s between high skill teams, it's often the first player down, you've won. That's it. Unless there's a direct trade on the first kill. Right, if you're having a 4v4, the moment it goes 4v3, you just steamroll the team, and it's quite often that the last player or two just end up giving up because there's no point fighting a losing battle. And here's the silly triage thing that we're trying to proc here. Again, glad that went. We used it. Players again. It was a knowledge game back in the early days of Division. It was, if you knew how to do this, you would beat people who didn't know, despite their overall skill level being higher than yours. So I could play with just about anybody, and we would smash people over and over and over again, simply because you know about critical save, combat medic. Yeah, we did use combat medic. Sometimes we did, sometimes we didn't. Critical save or combat medic, or on the move, although that was something I kind of picked up a little bit later. And if you did these things in unison, I mean, I remember back in 1.5 when these buffs were still 40% and 30% for critical save and on the move respectively. I mean, you'd be in a fight and I would shoot a shock turret, I'd get weak, I pop a med kit, I shoot a shock turret, and I'm practically invincible because at 70% ADR, it's like 75, it's like 80. So 75 being the smart cover, 80% being the blue ult from back in the day, 70% from just doing two very common things, like shooting a skill object and or killing a player, and then popping a med kit within the same 10 seconds. You're practically invincible, and I like that. But I do agree with the nerfing of the numbers because it's the combination. You see, one critical save by itself is not such a big deal, but when you combine the two, you're taking a third of the damage that you normally take. Combine that with a smart cover, then you're taking, you know, a weakish smart cover. You're taking a sixth of the damage. Combine that with, I don't know, some other kind of ADR booster shot, which at the time was 15%. It was 15% damage, 15% ADR. And you can see, look at the damage that guy has just done to me with a sticky bomb. But what you do is you aim it at the floor next to me, you hit me, and with chain reaction, because I was next to Ash, he took 2/3 of my health through a smart cover. So he would have one-shot me, absolutely, and for something when you consider that body shots did so little damage, this was unbalanced. It was right to be fixed. And did you see that headshot? Oh god, that 117. It's a signature number. It was a number that I always used to get when I used to one-shot players. But should the M1A be the sniper that one-shots? No, that was completely wrong. It should never have been the M1A. That's what the bolt action snipers were for. The bolt action snipers in the early days did have a purpose. You could use explosive bullets, and it would deal your PvP multiplied damage, and then you would deal your base damage on sheet. That's what explosive damage did. It removed the multiplier, and you would deal something like 27 to the head, and then another 50k from the base damage of the snipers, as they were when you consider the stats that we used to have back then. And Ash goes on a bit of a suicide mission collecting Dark Zone keys, because it was a bit of an EP thing where you would compare number of keys. Hey, look at me, bro, I've got 1,000 keys. How many of you guys got 5,000? Bro, you just killed rogues, bro. I mean, and it's funny how these days, because now the shit kids, you know, that were neutral players that come back to the game, they don't have keys, but even if they did, they don't drop them. You don't drop anything anymore. So I only have 945. There we were comparing once again. I had quite a few. Because I was the guy that always preferred to sit back. You know, my teammates were more on that, doing that face tank, run up in your face, bollocks, chicken dance shit. Which, by the way, I was taught by the other two players, Krieg and OG Halo player. I was taught the strafe by those two players. Big up to you two. Cheers for that. At the same time, you know, while it was great to have knowledge of the strafe back then in 1.3, I thought it was amazing back then. I thought it was great. And then patch by patch, the common players began to learn it. Some players began to abuse it, and you would get into a match. You know, you'd get into some PvP, and some players would do absolutely nothing but strafe. And of course, the strafe has been adjusted several times. I think 1.3, the strafe was still pretty virgin. It was the same as it ever was, because, you know, no one knew about it. It was never adjusted. I think 1.3 to 1.4, the strafe remained the same. 1.4 to 1.5 changed something. I think I can't remember exactly what it did, but what you had to basically do an extra thing to get to the strafe as it was in 1.3 or 1.4, and you had to turn your camera. Before, you didn't have to turn your camera to achieve the direct 90 degree. From 1.4 to 1.5, I think what happened was when you would strafe, your character would actually run forward a bit, so it wasn't a direct 90 degree, it would be something more like 110, 120 degree, and you'd do that, and eventually you'd end up walking forward towards your target, and you didn't actually want to do that. You wanted to maintain you maintain your position, stay where you were. And so to maintain that 90 degree turn back and forth, you had to turn your camera to make your character, you know, just follow the path you desired. And we all got used to that. It is what it was. Again, I left the game at the end of 1.5, so I believe the strafe changed again from 1.5 to 1.6. I believe it was then. If it wasn't then, it was 6 to 1.61. And what they changed there was it wasn't such a sharp turn. So yes, you could, even if you turned your screen, it wasn't such a... I think there's the acceleration on the sprint. If you've seen strafe gameplay from 1.5, you can see that it's a much sharper turn even then compared to what it is now. But now it's still overpowered. It shouldn't be in the game. I think the sharp turn feature, you know, the thing that enables the strafe to be abused, is a very clever mechanic. I think it should remain in the game. The problem is you can do it back and forth non-stop, and that is the problem. It's the spam of it, like the combat roll. There's nothing wrong with the combat roll. There's many ways that you can use the combat roll effectively and legitimately. The problem comes when you do it repeatedly, and with as many things in the game are balanced in their own right a few times, and pistols were relevant back then. I mean, they kind of are now. Let's not stray. So I think that the sharp turn feature, the strafe, should remain in the game, but not spammable. Have a cooldown on it, much like the combat roll, much like the aim assist that's just been brought into the game with patch 1.8.2. You can give it a cooldown, give it a sharp turn 1-2, a quick little 1-2. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't break the game, but it does enable a little bit of a movement to be done. Let's say I'm fighting someone close quarters and I want to get away from them. One of the things I do is if I need to reload, I'll run up in someone's face, make it difficult for them to hit me, and then I'll strafe. I see where they are. I will do like a forward left strafe and strafe away from them. That allows you to sprint in practically any direction you want, to create a little bit of space, so that you can actually aim on a player and stop him from running in your face. So you want to use a tactic against an enemy and then stop them from using it against you. But don't get rid of the strafe completely. I mean, I understand the chicken dance is not good for the game. I agree. I don't think it's the pinnacle of skill as some of these 4 or 5 letter name sweats 1v players think it is. They, hey bro, 1v1 me bro, let's go West 42nd, and then you go there, everyone's standing in cars, jerking off to a fucking endless triage hill circle on the ground, like, bro. Fucking bro people, man. Like, just sort it out, man. You know, we don't want this 1v culture. I don't want it. It's got to go. I think that 1v culture, I'm going on a bit of a rant here, you could say. I think 1vs should be in the game, but have a little arena or something, or have like a part of the map where you can, it's in the DZ, so you can start your feud in the DZ, what you fucking want, and the same way that you have come West 42nd, you all go into this sub arena. I guess maybe it's part of the server population, maybe it's not. Let the developers think of that. But it would be cool to have some sort of standardized rule set that you could edit. So you walk in, you have a big wall with rules on it, and then I don't know, you shoot the button on and off or something like that, and then or you have like a host. I don't know how you come to the agreement again. I'm not going to go into it. It doesn't matter to me too much. But it'd be cool for these people to have their own little space. Clearly they want it. I think if the community wants it, it can be delivered. It'd be great to get those people out of regular servers. You know, so the people who just want to play the game can play the game. Again, 1v culture is very, very weird. I used to participate in it seriously. I don't anymore because, yes, it's got a bit silly. It's like, well, I mean, if you're using, people shit talk if you're using Striker in a 1v. Like, it's just dumb. Whatever. Just get rid of 1vs. So I've kind of left off spot here. I'm going to wrap up the video in a minute, because the cover-based gameplay has now finished, our manhunt has now finished, and we're just running around killing some NPCs. So, cheers guys for sticking around. It's been quite a long one, 22 minutes. I've gone a bit of a rant, bit of tangent here, but all in all, I was going to conclude with, I like this style of cover-based gameplay. Difficult AI. Yes, you can say Legendary is difficult, not my style. I want the PvP to be ranged, because ranged combat takes more skill than running up in your face and abusing a broken mechanic like the strafe. It takes more skill to aim. Yes, it does. Although, you know, that's an opinion. Sorry guys, passing off my opinion as fact there. Come on, sorry. We all do it though, don't we? Let's be honest. And I want to ask you guys if you have any opinions on the matter. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Leave it down in the comments. Let me know what's going on. Let's create a conversation. I want this to be spoken about. Do we want cover-based gameplay? How many of you will enjoy it? How many of you have ADHD and you can't deal with slower-paced gameplay? If not, there's plenty of other games out there for you. Okay, guys, that's going to be it. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you want to hear or see more of my content. Leave a comment, of course, if you have anything to say, any questions, and I'll get back to you. I will reply. I'm not a huge fucking 100k channel who hasn't got time to reply to every comment. I have time. I will find time. So, guys, that'll be it for the day. In a bit.